Welcome to the third devlog on the development of Aspect. As you may have seen at the end of last devlog, we have decided on the name Aspect for the game. The reasoning for this is a coming feature in a future update that will be another major mechanic for the game. In the last week I've been working on reworking the dungeon generation for the game. The final product is a script that can generate unique dungeon floors using a tile map. The dungeons are made up of randomly sized rooms and hallways that connect to each other. I also just quickly want to say that this will not be in the game when this video is released. It will be released in the 0.4 update. The first thing I did was make it generate a room of random size and have a few hallways coming out of the room. Then the hallways create a room at the end of them, creating more hallways, making more rooms until it hits the room limit I set. I then made it pick a random amount of rooms to have in the dungeon between a minimum and maximum room number to make the size of the dungeon a bit more random. I also went through multiple ways of making it not spawn rooms on top of each other. This made the dungeon rooms feel more separate instead of creating a jumble of walls and floors. The way the dungeons generated meant that there was a lot of wall tiles in the scene. This wasn't very performant, so I made the walls generate within the boundaries of the tile map. This however made the generation slow, so I made it only create wall tiles around the rooms with a certain thickness. Now there is many less tiles in the scene and the player can never see outside of the walls, so the game is much more performant. The last addition to the generation was these small chunks of walls that appear in the rooms, which helps make each room's shape more unique than the others. Osiris Moon made some new wall and floor tiles that connect to each other when placed. The floor tiles also have variations that allow for small rocks to be on some tiles. These new tiles are our first step in making the game's art look so much better than it currently does. And with some final tweaks and changes, here is the final result. The amount of rooms in the dungeons now also scales with the floor. So for example, this is what the dungeons would look like on floor 100. Finally this week I changed the minimap so it doesn't show the entire dungeon and moves with the player. The icons on the minimap also clamp to the edge so you can see the direction that all of the enemies are in. And in a later devlog I plan to make the rooms only appear on the minimap once you've entered them. Thanks for watching this devlog. Subscribe to the channel if you want to follow the development of Aspect, and if you want to try the game there will be a link in the description.